You're live from New Delhi. You're watching TT India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. India committed to combating piracy, terrorism in Indian Ocean region, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi after Bulgarian President thanked him for Indian Navy rescuing his country's ship and crew. Also says 7 Bulgarian nationals are safe and will return home soon. India's defense minister speaks with his U.S. counterpart to discuss progress on the roadmap for India-U.S. defense cooperation. Two nations kick off tri-services exercise to boost capabilities for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations. Campaigning for India's general elections gathers momentum. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold roadshows and public meetings in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Congress Working Committee to discuss party's manifesto. Israel's interagency team to visit the U.S. to discuss Rafah, even as Netanyahu reaffirms his determination to launch an offensive during a call with Biden. European Union agrees on sanctions on Hamas, violent West Bank settlers. And after a month-long exposition in Thailand, relics of Buddha to return to Delhi with full state honours on Tuesday. Large number of devotees offered prayers to the relics in Thailand. On to the details now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday said India is committed to protecting freedom of navigation and combating piracy and terrorism in the Indian Ocean region after Bulgarian President Roman Radev thanked him for the Indian Navy rescuing his country's ship and crew. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, "Appreciate your message, President of BG. We are happy that 7 Bulgarian nationals are safe and will be returning to home soon. India is committed to protecting freedom of navigation and combating piracy and terrorism in the Indian Ocean region," unquote. Earlier, Bulgarian President Roman Radev thanked Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the rescue, saying, and I quote, "My sincere gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the brave action of Navy rescuing the hijacked Bulgarian ship Ruin and its crew, including 7 Bulgarian citizens," unquote. Also, Indian Navy on Sunday released a video showing rescue operation carried out on Saturday. During the operation, the Indian Naval Forces, including special commandos, seized a cargo vessel, rescuing 17 crew members. While all the 35 pirates surrendered, the Navy spokesperson said maritime operations by India reflect their commitment towards reinforcing peace and stability in the region. And with an aim to boost defense cooperation, India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh held a telephonic conversation with U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. Both ministers briefly discussed a range of bilateral, regional security and defense cooperation issues. The U.S. Secretary of Defense appreciated the important role being played by the Indian Navy in conducting anti-piracy operations in the Indian Ocean region. The two ministers discussed ways and means to implement the India-U.S. Defense Cooperation Roadmap, which was concluded last year. Both the leaders also reviewed the recent bilateral events such as the Indus-X summit held in New Delhi in February 2024 and the bilateral tri-service exercise Tiger Triumph, which has also commenced in India on March 18, 2024. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and Lloyd Austin had last met in New Delhi in November 2023 during the India-U.S. Ministerial 2+2 dialogue. And amid the telephonic conversation between India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin focusing on strengthening defense ties between the two countries, Indian Navy extended a warm welcome to U.S. Somerset LPD-25 of the U.S. Navy to Visakhapatnam for exercise Tiger Triumph 24. The ship will be participating in the Tri-Services India-USA Amphibious Exercise Tiger Triumph 24 under the aegis of Eastern Naval Command. The exercise is aimed to further enhance interoperability and work towards a multinational model for missions in the Indian Ocean regions. And now let's get you the latest on what's happening at home in India as a build-up to the world's largest democratic general elections. Well, the Bharatiya Janata Party on Monday convened core committee meetings at the party headquarters to deliberate on potential candidates for various states for the upcoming general elections. The states of Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Haryana, Odisha, Sikkim, Maharashtra and Gujarat were discussed in the meeting. BJP National President J.P. Nadda chaired the meeting, while Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Party National General Secretary B.L. Santosh were present in the meeting. On the other hand, the Congress Working Committee will meet on Tuesday morning in New Delhi. The top item on the agenda is to approve the Congress manifesto for the upcoming elections. The Central Election Committee is expected to clear the candidates' list for the first phase of the polls scheduled for 19th of April. Also, the Bharatiya Janata Party on Tuesday clinched a seat-sharing deal with the Patali Makkal Katchi or PMK in southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu for the April 19th Lok Sabha polls, allotting 10 seats to the regional party. BJP State President K. Annamalai and PMK founder Anbumani Ramadoss signed the pact after a meeting this morning. PMK on Monday entered an alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party in Tamil Nadu and will be a part of the National Democratic Alliance in the upcoming general election polls. Also, campaigning is gaining momentum for the forthcoming general elections as leaders of various political parties have started holding rallies and public meetings to woo the voters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also hold a roadshow in southern Kerala's Palakkad. PM Modi will later address a public meeting at Salem to support BJP candidates in the upcoming Lok Sabha 2024 elections. And India correspondent Hariharan joins us for more from Tamil Nadu. Well, Hariharan, as campaigning picks up now, what is the scenario right now there?
So, after finishing roadshow in the Palakkad district of Kerala state, Prime Minister will arrive at Salem district of Tamil Nadu at afternoon 1. So, here all the arrangements have made over the land area. 44 acres of land was set up for this mega public event, and we can expect all the NDA Alliance party leaders to attend this public meeting, like former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu O. Pannirselvam and Amma Makkal Munnetra Kalagam General Secretary TTV Dinakaran and Tamil Manila Congress President G.K. Vasan, and as you said, the latest joinee in the NDA Alliance, Patali Makkal Katchi President Anbumani Ramadoss is also expected to present in the stage today, and over 1 lakh BJP cadres and all Alliance Party cadres are expected to attend the meeting today, and PM will join hands with all NDA Alliance Party leaders today. And overall, we can see DMK is very strong with their alliance. They are facing this Lok Sabha election as a third election with the same alliance parties. They have faced with 2019 Lok Sabha elections with the same alliance parties, and 2021 state assemblies they won, and now they are facing Lok Sabha elections of 2024 with the same alliance parties.
So, what is the general scene there, Hariharan, in regard to elections?
So the recent visit of Prime Minister consequently in Tamil Nadu, especially South India, shows their focus on South India, especially in Tamil Nadu, is very high. Especially all the party programs like roadshow and parties were organized in the western districts of Tamil Nadu and southern districts of Tamil Nadu, where they have considerable amount of vote bank. They want to increase their vote bank and also to win in several seats, which helps them to achieve their overall aim of 400 seats winning in the nation level.
All right. Thank you so much, Hariharan, for that update from there. And moving on, as campaigning intensifies, political leaders are now gearing up to woo the masses, and the voters are preparing to send the best representatives to the House. Let's take a look at the issues that will play in the minds of the masses when they press the magic button.
As India gears up for general elections, political parties are also ready with the list of issues they wish to go to the voters with. The political war of 2024 will essentially be fought in many small battles throughout the nation, with each battle having its own set of issues and strategies. However, on a larger canvas, the fight for a majority in the lower house will be between the two big alliances: the National Democratic Alliance, comprising the BJP and its allies, and Indi Alliance, or the Indian National Development Inclusive Alliance. It is an alliance of over 20 political parties, including the Indian National Congress. While the two major parties, that is the BJP and the Congress, will be in direct fight in many states, the alliance partners will square off against each other in most parts of the nation. Both the camps seem to be ready with their own strategy of wooing the voters. The incumbent BJP-led NDA will focus on the work done by the Narendra Modi government in the past 10 years, while the opposition will try and strike a chord with issues like inflation, unemployment, etc. There are some issues that will dominate the campaigning in weeks to come. The NDA led by the BJP has focused on 10 years of uninterrupted public welfare. The BJP is ready with a long list of accomplishments that the party thinks will catapult it to the third straight victory. A critical pillar of BJP's economic program consists of new welfareism, in which the government has ramped up investments in the public distribution of private goods such as gas cylinders, toilets, bank accounts and electricity connections. Flagship welfare programs for the poor. The Modi Guarantee has been a key campaign slogan for the BJP.
The India Alliance ran a mass outreach program led by the Indian National Congress ahead of the upcoming general elections. The Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra began from the northeastern state of Manipur to end in the western Indian city of Mumbai. It aimed to raise the pitch for social, economical, political justice for the people of India.
While Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has urged Delhi residents to vote for Indi bloc for stronger representation in Parliament, promising inflated water bills will be waived within 15 days. The BJP is fighting opposition, which apart from India Alliance also includes regional satraps. The biggest state in terms of seats is UP or Uttar Pradesh, and here the fight is multi-cornered. BJP, India Alliance and BSP are the main players on the political pitch. Apart from this, there are pockets of political activity where the BJP will be in direct contest with many state parties that are fighting independently and have a powerful base with the voters. In West Bengal, BJP will be against the Trinamool Congress led by Mamata Banerjee. Increased GDP growth, construction of the Ram Temple in the holy city of Ayodhya, passage of Women's Reservation Bill, successful moon landing by Chandrayaan-3 are some of the highlights that the government will go to the masses with. The issues, both national and regional, are dynamic, and the political map of India will see many more issues which will pitch the parties against each other. Whichever party wins majority, democracy will once again emerge as the clear winner. Bureau Report, DD India.
And concluding a historic and spiritually enriching exposition in Thailand, the holy relics of Lord Buddha and his two disciples to be escorted back to their respective homes. On the last day of exposition of sacred relics, Ambassador Nagesh Singh with Thailand's Minister of Culture, Samsak, highlighted significance of renewing spiritual bond between India and Thailand to realize Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of leveraging eternal consciousness of Dhamma for ushering century of Asia. Both conveyed a deep appreciation, enabling millions of pilgrims from different parts of Thailand and its neighboring countries in Mekong region to pay obeisance to the holy relics from India. On the last day of exposition of sacred relics in Karbi, thousands of devotees continue to visit Wat Manahadat Vachir Mongokol to pay respects to the sacred relics of Lord Buddha and disciples Arahant Sariputta and Arihant Maha Moggallana. And now let's take a look at other stories making news across India today. India's Central Reserve Police Force is celebrating its Raising Day on Tuesday. It comes under Home Affairs Ministry of Indian Government. Coming into existence in 1939, it became the Central Reserve Police Force on the enactment of CRPF Act on 28 December 1949. Luxury and vintage cars, motorcycles were a display in the Surat International Auto Expo 2024 that ended on Monday. The commercial vehicle giants, including Tata Motors and Ashok Leyland, displayed their range of vehicles. Moreover, an array of national and international brands also participated in the four-day event. And still to come on DD India News Hour. United States has confirmed the killing of the number 3 leader within Hamas ranks in an Israeli operation. U.S. and Philippines to hold bilateral talks reviewing economy and security situations affecting them. Battle of words continues in U.S. election as Trump mentioned the end of U.S. democracy if he loses 2024 election.
That never stops, where information shapes our reality. One app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
Welcome back. You are watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on. Update now on Israel-Hamas conflict. Israel will send an interagency team to Washington to discuss a potential military operation in Gaza's southern city of Rafah. The decision was conveyed by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the U.S. President Joe Biden over a call on Monday. The two leaders also talked about the efforts to increase aid to Gaza.
The latest developments in the war, including Israel's commitment to achieving all of the war's goals, eliminating Hamas, freeing all of our hostages, and ensuring that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel, while providing the necessary humanitarian aid that will assist in achieving these goals.
The call was the first between the two leaders since 15th of February and comes amid sharp tensions between Israel and its most steadfast ally over Netanyahu's handling of the conflict in Gaza that followed Hamas' deadly October 7th attack inside Israel.
The President told the Prime Minister again today that we share the goal of defeating Hamas, but we just believe you need a coherent and sustainable strategy to make that happen.
Meanwhile, the United States has confirmed the killing of senior Hamas leader Marwan Issa in an Israeli operation. The White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan in a media briefing said that Marwan Issa, the number 3 leader within Hamas ranks, was killed in an Israeli operation last week. Hamas has not officially commented on reports of Issa's killing so far. And the Israel Defense Forces on Monday confirmed that its troops killed a senior Hamas operative during Monday morning's raid on Gaza's Shifa hospital. According to the IDF, Fek Mebho, the head of the Operation Directorate of Hamas Internal Security, was armed and hiding inside Shifa complex, from which he was working to advance terror activity. The IDF confirmed that the Hamas leader was killed amid an exchange of fire during an attempt to arrest him. According to the Israeli forces, its troops recovered a cache of arms and a huge amount of money in a nearby room. Well, after weeks of disagreements, the European Union has reached a political agreement to sanction Hamas and violent West Bank settlers. The decision marked the first time that the EU's 27 member countries had agreed to sanction violent Israeli settlers, following in the footsteps of the US and the UK.
We discussed about the sanctions on Hamas, and we agreed also on sanctions to extremist settlers. It was not possible last Foreign Affairs Council. This time has been possible. A solid compromise has been agreed at the working level, and I hope that this will be continue until full adoption soon. But the political agreement is there.
Well, the U.S. military destroyed 7 anti-ship missiles, 3 drones and 3 weapon storage containers in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. The attack was in line with the determination to safeguard itself from the weapons that presented an imminent threat to merchant vessels and U.S. Navy ships in the region. Meanwhile, the United Nations Maritime Shipping Regulatory Agency has expressed that Houthi attacks must ease for salvage of 2 vessels. It said efforts to limit environmental damage from a cargo vessel that sank after a Houthi missile strike and another abandoned during a fiery assault are on hold until attacks on ships ease. The UK-owned Rubima last month became the first vessel lost since the Houthis began targeting commercial ships in the Red Sea area in November. The bulk carrier, with 21,000 metric tons of fertilizer contained in its cargo hold, has been submerged in shallow waters between Yemen and Eritrea since late February. Well, the United States and Japan on Monday proposed a UN Security Council resolution. The resolution underscores that countries should not develop nuclear weapons or any other kinds of weapons of mass destruction designed to be placed in orbit. Washington believes Moscow is developing a space-based anti-satellite nuclear weapon whose detonation could cause havoc by disrupting everything from military communications to phone-based ride services. Russia has previously said it opposes deploying nuclear weapons in space. Russia's defense minister has also denied it is developing such a weapon. However, the United States urged countries bound by the treaty not to place such weapons in space and also not to develop them.
The issue of outer space and the treaty governing it. Let me be clear. Any placement of nuclear weapons into orbit around the Earth would be unprecedented, dangerous, and unacceptable. States parties must commit to upholding our obligations under Article 4 of the Outer Space Treaty, and we must urge all member states who are not yet party to it to accede to it without delay.
Well, the United States is hopeful for the formation of a new transitional ruling body for violence-ravaged Haiti. State Department Deputy Spokesperson said Haitian stakeholders are very close to finalizing membership to the Haitian Transitional Council and remain in active discussions with the leaders of Caribbean community. The decision to set up a council was taken on 11th of March at an emergency meeting attended by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced last week that he would step down once the council, made up of 7 voting members and 2 observers from different political coalitions and sectors of society, were in place. Well, as tensions escalate and gangs tightened their grip in Haiti, 10 more people were killed in a suburb of Haiti's capital. The bodies of the victims who had been shot were removed from the main road leading into the suburb and from outside a gas station. This comes amid an escalation in gang violence amid a political impasse that saw the United Nations as well as US and Canadian embassies withdraw staff in recent days. Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced his resignation pending a temporary replacement, but the council set to choose his replacement has yet to be appointed. Meanwhile, the capital has been paralyzed as fresh attacks broke out late last week, including a fire at the main prison that days earlier had been emptied of prisoners in the residence of the National Police Chief. Moving on, Dominican Republic security on the northwestern border with Haiti remained high on Monday as violence is still in the rise in Haiti. Dominican soldiers guarded as Haitians hoping to go to the Dajabon binational market queued to enter the country, going through biometric checkpoints. An escalation in gang violence brought regional leaders to put forward several political associations set to participate in a transitory Presidential Council after Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced he would resign. And at least 87 people have reportedly been abducted by gunmen in the northwestern Nigerian state of Kaduna. Kaduna police spokesperson and residents who confirmed the incident said women and children are among those taken. The latest incident comes as security continues to search for nearly 300 school students kidnapped over a week ago in the same state. DD India's Ajak Mangut reports from Nigeria.
According to the chairman of Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State where the abduction took place, the gunmen stormed the community late on Sunday, taking away many residents. It's the latest in a series of kidnappings in the state in the last 2 weeks, leaving residents in fear and panic. Nearly 300 students who were kidnapped by gunmen from their school on March 7th are yet to be found. The gunmen have threatened to kill them unless a ransom of over $600,000 is paid, but the government has said it will not pay a dime. Nigeria's defense minister said on Monday that all those behind the kidnappings and attacks in Kaduna and other states in the northwest zone would soon be apprehended. Security has deteriorated in Nigeria since early this year, which experts have partly blamed on current economic challenges. The country is dealing with an insurgency from Boko Haram militant group in the northeast, attacks by gunmen known as bandits in the northwest and central parts of the country, as well as separatist agitations in the southeast. Just last week, 16 Nigerian soldiers were killed in an ambush after they attempted to quell community clashes in the oil-producing southern Delta state. Residents in the area say the army carried out reprisal attacks and ransacked and burned homes in the area, but the defense chief denied military involvement. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has directed the Chief of Defense to investigate the incident to ensure that those responsible for the attack face the full force of the law. Ajak Mangut in Abuja, reporting for DD India.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. 100 days of ultra-reformist libertarian Javier Milei as the president of Argentina. Artificial intelligence powerhouse NVIDIA unveiled a flagship AI chip named Blackwell B200. And we'll also tell you about a London-based street artist whose identity is unknown, but his artwork appears in a park in North London.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibilities. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday 8 p.m. only on DD India.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lepakshi Kurana, and now time for a quick recap of the headlines. India committed to combating piracy, terrorism in Indian Ocean region, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi after Bulgarian President thanked him for Indian Navy rescuing his country's ship and crew. Also says 7 Bulgarian nationals are safe and will return home soon. India's defense minister speaks with his U.S. counterpart, discuss progress on the roadmap for India-U.S. defense cooperation. Two nations kick off tri-services exercise to boost capabilities for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations. Campaigning for India's general elections gather momentum. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold road shows and public meetings in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Congress Working Committee to discuss party's manifesto. Israel's interagency team to visit the U.S. to discuss Rafah, even as Netanyahu reaffirms his determination to launch an offensive during a call with Biden. European Union agrees on sanctions on Hamas, violent West Bank settlers. And after a month-long exposition in Thailand, relics of Buddha to return to Delhi with full state honours on Tuesday. Large number of devotees offered prayers to the relics in Thailand. And moving on, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw firing drills by artillery units in the western region involving super large multiple rocket launchers. Still photographs of Kim watching the drills has also been released. Drills were aimed at testing the real war capabilities of 600mm multiple rocket launchers and improving the operators' combat morale and readiness posture. The report of drills came a day after Pyongyang launched several short-range ballistic missiles into the sea, first such missile test in about 2 months. And Chris Gilbert joins us for more on this from Tokyo. Well, Chris, after Seoul and Washington's joint military training exercises recently, is this a response with furious retorts and live-fire drills?
Yeah, it's fairly predictable of the pattern that we've seen over the last couple of years. In 2022, we, of course, saw a repeated pattern of military drills and missile launches, which spiraled and escalated into, both sides scrambling jets, military incursions into disputed zones where neither country is entirely sure where the DMZ starts and stops. So it is a fairly, you could say, typical response. It's also, North Korea has been demonstrating quite a lot recently, specifically their ability to counter any, perceived provocations or threats from South Korea. Over the last couple of years, we've seen their long-range missiles tested. They are not really in the habit of launching those at the moment. Of course, every launch is very expensive for them. But particularly since South Korea began disassembling, de-escalating security pacts that have stood since 2018, which was then responded with a complete abandoning of those pacts by North Korea, we certainly have seen a concentration from Pyongyang on their own immediate surroundings and the threats that they perceive coming from the south.
All right. Also, Chris, was this a calculated move to grab attention during Blinken's stop in the south? What about the timing?
We have seen some interesting timings from North Korea before. We've seen them launch missiles over Japan several years ago when former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was sitting down at Mar-a-Lago with former President of the U.S. Donald Trump. We've seen them fire rockets when Kim Jong-un met Vladimir Putin in East Russia last year. I have, spoken to political scientists and experts and geopolitical experts about the timings of these launches. And effectively, it comes down to, they say, either Kim Jong-un's sense of whimsy or whenever they particularly want to test or fire a rocket. Certainly it is often at a time when South Korea and the United States have also been holding their own military drills, which of course India sometimes participate in, which of course Canada, Australia, Japan all participate in on occasion, because as Pyongyang says, they want to demonstrate their ability to, as they say, defend North Korea from acts of aggression, from perceived acts of aggression, which they have say is, for example, the United States parking nuclear submarines in Busan. They see nuclear warheads on their doorstep as an act of aggression. And so it is reliable of Pyongyang to demonstrate, as they see it, their ability to defend themselves and then say, we're doing this because we believe we need to defend ourselves.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for that update from Tokyo. And moving on, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will hold talks with Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos on Tuesday. The U.S. Secretary of State will also hold bilateral talks with his counterpart Enrique Manalo. During his meetings with Philippines leadership, Blinken is expected to reaffirm the United States security commitment to the Philippines. The leaders of the two nations are also expected to review developments that affect the two countries' economy and security. Meanwhile, Blinken's visit comes ahead of a trilateral meeting in Washington next month between U.S. President Joe Biden, Marcos, and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. This is Blinken's second visit to Manila since President Marcos took office in June 2022. DD India's Patrick Falk tells us more from Singapore on this.
Secretary Blinken will be meeting with the Philippine president as well as his Philippine counterpart Enrique Manalo. And what he's going to be talking about is clear. That is maintaining peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific and also helping the Philippines manage its territorial disputes with Beijing in the South China Sea. Specifically, we are told that Blinken will reaffirm Washington's commitment to the Philippines and their mutual defense treaty. And this visit comes just a week after U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo led a business delegation to the Philippines and pledged to invest as much as $1 billion in the Philippine economy. As you mentioned also, these talks are really going to pave the way for this trilateral summit that's possibly going to take place in April between Japan, the Philippines and the US, and also to discuss some specific outcomes from those talks. And it's an interesting situation really here because, a lot of the tension that we've seen in the South China Sea has come about since President Marcos came to office and got closer to Washington, something that has angered Beijing. But its actions since then and its assertiveness in the South China Sea has very clearly pushed the two together. And now we're seeing a scenario where US allies are being brought closer together to coordinate efforts against China, if you like. And so this is exactly this opposite of what Beijing is trying to achieve, you might say.
Well, voters in 5 U.S. states are voting this Tuesday to choose who they want leading the Democratic and Republican parties in November's presidential election. It comes a week after President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump reached the required number of delegates to become their party nominees. Nick Harper reports for more from Washington.
Democratic and Republican primaries will see voters in Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Kansas and Ohio go to the polls on Tuesday. No big surprises are expected, with both Joe Biden predicted to easily win the Democratic contests and Donald Trump expected to easily win the Republican ones. They are now the only real contenders in both races. And last week, they both clinched their respective parties' nominations after winning enough delegates. Since the start of primary season in the middle of January, different states have been voting, choosing the candidate that they want, leading the parties in November's election. This Tuesday, of the 5 states, Arizona will be the one to watch. Biden won the state back in the 2020 presidential election, becoming the first Democrat in nearly 25 years to win the Southwest state. Turnout and results could provide some indication which way the state is leaning ahead of November's election. However, with the Biden-Trump rematch looming, opinion polls continue to show it's a rematch that most voters don't want. Some Americans think that Biden, at the age of 81, is too old to run for re-election, while others think Trump's legal troubles and his upcoming criminal trials should disqualify him from having another shot at the White House. Nick Harper in Washington, reporting for DD India.
And U.S. Republican candidate Donald Trump said if he does not win November's presidential election, it will mean the likely end of American democracy. Speaking at a campaign rally in Dayton, Ohio, to support Republican Senate candidate Bernie Moreno, Trump repeated his criticism of the Biden administration's record on migration, warning his audience that criminals from the Congo were now arriving in the U.S.
They're sending from all over the world, not just South America, Latin America. They're sending them from Asia. They're sending them from Africa, the Congo. They're coming from the Middle East. If this election isn't won, I'm not sure that you'll ever have another election in this country. Does that make sense? I don't think you're going to have another election in this country if we don't win this election.
And the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday denied a request by Donald Trump's former aide Peter Navarro to avoid prison while he appeals his contempt of Congress conviction for defying a subpoena from a panel that investigated the 2021 Capitol attack. Navarro, who served as trade advisor during Trump's presidency, is set to become the first senior member of his administration to be imprisoned for actions related to the attempt to overturn Trump's 2020 election loss. Navarro is slated to arrive at a federal prison in Miami to begin serving a 4-month prison sentence.
Navarro has turned out to be a very important landmark constitutional case that is going to resolve important issues about the constitutional separation of powers, as well as the integrity, efficiency of presidential decision-making.
Well, President Joe Biden signed a new executive order on Monday that expands U.S. government research on women's health while pledging $200 million next year to better understand issues including sexual and reproductive conditions. Biden is also ordering his administration to report on progress they are making to erase gender gaps in research and to study how to use artificial intelligence to improve women's health research. Biden told a room full of women, including actress Halle Berry and former California First Lady Maria Shriver at the White House, that he's going to make sure women's health is prioritized across the government. Well, it has been 100 days since the ultra-reformist libertarian Javier Milei became the president of Argentina. Milei took office warning things would get much worse for Argentines before they get better.
Argentina's President Javier Milei started out by devaluating the peso by 54% and removing price controls. These measures, along with the removal of fuel and transport subsidies, have seen Argentines' purchasing power plummet, causing a slowdown in consumption and economic growth. After some time now, monthly inflation is starting to cool. Milei came to power with high on reforms and transformation of his country. Once in office, he cut the cabinet in half to 9 ministries, slashed 50,000 public jobs, suspended all new public works contracts, while subsidies on fuel and transport were also taken back. The government has boasted its first budget surplus in over a decade and has won the approval of the International Monetary Fund, which has a $44 billion credit program with Argentina. However, Milei hasn't been able to push through his ambitious economic reforms. Opposition in Argentina's Congress, where Milei's La Libertad Avanza party does not command a majority, and the Senate have stalled the president's reforms. During a speech to world leaders in Davos in January, he took aim at socialism, radical feminism, the agenda of abortion, and social justice. He flew to Rome to meet with Argentine Pope Francis, with whom he reconciled, and met with former U.S. President Donald Trump on the sidelines of a conservative conference. Milei also paid a visit to Israel. Argentina's President Javier Milei has been in office for about 3 months now. Though inflation has dropped, poverty remains on the rise, and his track record so far divides opinions.
And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Artificial intelligence powerhouse NVIDIA unveiled a flagship AI chip named Blackwell B200. The new chip takes 2 chips the size of NVIDIA's previous offering and binds it together into a single chip. The launch of NVIDIA's new chip to help predict whether the company can maintain its leadership position as the dominant seller of the AI tools in the industry or not. Banksy, the London-based street artist whose identity is unknown, confirmed that an artwork that appeared in a park in North London is his creation. Banksy confirmed through a social media post where he uploaded pictures of the mural. It shows green paint sprayed on a wall behind a cut-back tree to look like a foliage, with a stencil of a person holding a spray next to it. And still to come on DD India News Hour. The Bank of Japan ended 8 years of negative interest rates and other remnants of its unorthodox policy on Tuesday. And in football, Real Madrid slammed a La Liga referee for not reporting abuse against Vinicius Jr. And we'll show you visuals of the Indian Army making their way indomitably in freezing temperatures.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights and authentic information.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and time now for some business news. Wall Street's main indexes advanced on Monday, with mega cap growth stocks such as Alphabet and Tesla supporting a rebound in technology-heavy Nasdaq. Investors also waited for the U.S. Federal Reserve's meeting this week. Investors were torn between enthusiasm about the prospects for AI on the technology sector and worries ahead to the Federal Reserve statement and commentary on Wednesday, according to Lindsay Bell. According to preliminary data, the S&P 500 gained 0.63%, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.82%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.19%. Also, the Bank of Japan ended 8 years of negative interest rates and other remnants of its unorthodox policy on Tuesday. The Bank of Japan increased its key interest rate from 0.1% to a range of 0% to 0.1%. It comes as wages have jumped after consumer prices rose. While the move will be Japan's first interest rate hike in 17 years, it still keeps rates stuck around zero as a fragile economic recovery forces the central bank to go slow in any further rise in borrowing cost. In a widely expected decision, the BOJ ditched a policy put in place since 2016 that applied a 0.1% charge on some excess reserves financial institutions parked with the central bank. Also, Hong Kong's market value of Hang Seng goes down by 2%. Last month's data shows a drastic decline of almost 9%, marking the worst performing benchmark of Hang Seng Index globally in 2024. Hang Seng Index continues to face challenges. These consecutive declines may indicate ongoing concerns or uncertainties affecting the stock market of Hong Kong. Well, you're watching DD India News Hour. Time now for some sports news. Hockey India names the 27-member Indian men's hockey team for Australia tour. The team will be led by Harmanpreet Singh and vice-captained by Hardeep Singh. The first match of Australia tour will take place on 6th April 2024 in Perth in Australia. The tour will also be a litmus test for the team in their preparations for the Olympic Games in Paris 2024. Chief coach Craig Fulton has opted to go with the almost entire core group in order to give players an optimum chance to showcase their potential before the final 16-member team is selected for the Olympic Games Paris 2024. The Indian team will leave from New Delhi on 1st of April and will return on the 15th of April 2024. And Real Madrid have filed a complaint against the referee who handled their game at Osasuna on Saturday for not including alleged racist insults aimed at their forwards. Vinicius Jr. in his match report, the club said in a statement on Monday. The 23-year-old Brazil international who scored twice as La Liga leaders Real won 4-2 at the El Sadar Stadium has been subjected to racial abuse on several occasions in Spain. Real have also extended the complaint they filed with the state prosecutor's office on Friday over hate and discrimination offences after alleged racist chanting by Atletico Madrid and Barcelona fans directed at the Brazil forward. An English Premier League side, Nottingham Forest, have been deducted 4 points for financial breaches on Monday. They become the second Premier League club to be deducted points for breaching profitability and sustainability rules, plunging the team into the Premier League's relegation zone. Nottingham Forest is expected to appeal against their sanction imposed by an independent commission. DD India's Ollie Barrett reports for more from London.
Well, the Premier League says that Nottingham Forest have had an immediate points reduction applied to them. It's for breaching the league's profitability and sustainability, or PSR, rules for the period ending at the close of last season. The club had admitted going over the level of permitted financial losses by around $44 million. But Nottingham Forest had argued there were extenuating circumstances related to the transfer of Brennan Johnson. He was sold for about $60 million in September 2023 to Tottenham Hotspur. That was past the PSR accounting deadline of the 30th of June. The club said they were acting in the interests of being sustainable and responsible by holding out for a higher transfer fee than what was on offer in June. It means that Forest drop below Luton in the Premier League relegation zone. The deadline for any appeals process to conclude is the 24th of May, which is 5 days after this Premier League season is due to finish. Nottingham Forest are the second club to be penalised for PSR breaches after Everton. They were docked 10 points in November, only to see that reduced to 6 points on appeal. I'm Ollie Barrett in London, reporting for DD India.
And professional boxing legend Floyd Mayweather Jr. on Monday said he is eager to participate in an exhibition fight in India this year, and the possibility of an opponent from the host nation cannot be ruled out. The 47-year-old former boxing champion boasts of a perfect 50-0 record in the professional circuit, which includes 27 knockouts. Before ruling the professional circuit, Mayweather enjoyed a successful stint in amateur boxing, winning a bronze medal in the featherweight division at the 1996 Olympics and 3 U.S. Golden Gloves championships. And Argentina captain Lionel Messi is out of this month's friendlies in United States due to a hamstring injury, the country's FA said on Monday. The 36-year-old suffered the injury while playing for Inter Miami in the team's 3-1 home victory over Nashville in the CONCACAF Champions Cup last Wednesday. Messi is the latest absence for Lionel Scaloni's side following injuries to AS Roma forward Paulo Dybala, Bayer Leverkusen midfielder Ezequiel Palacios and Bournemouth defender Marcos Senesi. Argentina will meet El Salvador at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia on Friday and Costa Rica in Los Angeles 4 days later. And the CONMEBOL reopened its South American Soccer Museum on Monday in Paraguay. The new museum, which was originally opened in 2009, is dedicated to the history of the sport in the region. One of the museum's main attractions are a set of statues of soccer superstars Diego Armando Maradona, Pelé and Lionel Messi. CONMEBOL President Alejandro Dominics said the venue brought justice to South American soccer. And now we bring you the visuals displaying the indomitable spirit of Indian Army in the freezing weather. Indian Army in its tweet shared a video stating, "When everything freezes, it is only courage that flows through." Take a look. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Kurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.